Join us as we sail up Sicily's coast to the ancient town of Messina and what was once the most feared passage in the Med past the Whirlpool Charybdis.
One requirement of doing a transit through the Strait of Messina is that you let the VTS, which manages traffic through here, know that you're going to be coming through. Yachts have been fined up to €2,500 for not letting the VTS know ahead of time they're doing a passage through the Messina Strait. I'm about to give him a call. VTS, this is sailing yacht Tranquilo, over.
Calling Messina VTS.
VTS, this is sailing yacht Tranquilo. Just wanted to let you know we are going to be transiting through from Charybdis to Messina this morning. Over. VTS, this is sailing yacht Tranquilo. Over.
VTS Messina, Eurocargo Malta, Eurocargo Malta, buongiorno, pilota a bordo.
Okay, I tried, but as many have said, they've called the VTS and they never got a response. We've tried, so I'll give a call again in about half an hour. The wind is 8 knots, and normally we wouldn't be motor sailing in 8 knots, but the wind around here is just all over the place, going anywhere between 8 and 10 knots, drops to 3 at times. That's the wind. The currents are even worse. About 500 meters back there we had a good strong current pushing us north at about a knot. Then it became just eerily calm, and the current just totally shifted around, and it was actually against us, pushing us south at 1.5 knots. So we're just going to motor sail all the way to Messina. Not only that, we're going to get to Messina just at flat tide, because just off Messina is the famous whirlpool called Charybdis. So I finally got through to VTS and we're cleared for transiting up to Messina. All they really wanted to know was our starting destination, our final destination port, our length and how many people are on board, and that was it.
We finally set up this chart plotter with everything we want to know about the wind direction and speed, and importantly our new toy is Velocity Made Good. Velocity Made Good is your speed towards your final destination. So this tells us when we're close hauled like this, whether it's better to come off the wind a little and gain more speed, or go more into the wind and head where we actually want to go. The other, I'm just having a play with it now and discovering when we get a gust of wind, which tends to round the boat up into the wind, that Velocity Made Good goes up, so in our favour, by just letting it gently round up into the wind and then easing it back out. Which means I'm having fun on standby rather than just leaving it on auto. On autopilot, it's obviously just taking one direct line and it's not taking advantage of that wind pull. So yeah, having fun with Velocity Made Good.
center of Messina, the old town district, and to say that Messina is more cosmopolitan, more alive, more vibrant than Riposto, we're doing a disservice to the term understatement. And this iced coffee, this overly fashionable iced coffee, is the best iced coffee I've ever had.
A lemon granita on a hot Sicilian day is pretty good too. Chin chin. Good? Cold. Brain freeze.
No,
No?
I just like it so much.
Just like it a lot. Let's go to the left door. What do you think? I think the highlight is those wooden beams.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30.
I guess these fish here in Messina Marina are telling us that the water's not too bad. It's not a bad view here from our berth in Messina Marina.
Messina Marina.
Messina Marina.
It's incredible to think that we're overlooking one of the most famous straits in the world.
We liked this bar this afternoon, so we're back and it's humming. Let's go.
That's what I love about Europe, is that people of all ages are quite happy just to go out and enjoy life. Back home, all the young ones frown upon anyone over, say, 30 having fun on a night out. That's how it should be.
Yeah, so crusty old dudes like us can come out.
That's true. We're crusty old dudes now.
Phil and I have been chatting, as you do, over a drink and some snacks. It suddenly dawned on us that we've just spent about 20 minutes chatting about the weather and how much our lives are now dictated by the wind and planning what we do around the wind and the weather.
It really doesn't matter that it's midnight, because we're leaving at 11 AM. The wind's going to be pretty light, the tide's going to be high, so it's the perfect time to leave Messina. So yes, our lives are dictated by the weather and the tides. We're close to the narrowest part of the Messina Strait. Just got a reef in because just ahead of us is Charybdis, and even though there's high tide and there's supposed to be no whirlpool around here, just be careful.
There's an interesting mix of fact and mythology around this passage of water. Scylla was a monster who sat atop the cliffs behind us and plucked dolphins and swordfish from the water, and unsuspecting sailors, and ate them up. Charybdis was a giant whirlpool, and that bit is fact. But there was an earthquake in 1783 that completely changed the seabed. So there's no longer the huge whirlpool. There is some whirlpool, which is why we timed this to come in at high tide when it's fairly flat. So a little bit of whirlpool, a little bit of current, but nothing like Charybdis was. Charybdis made the Straits of Messina a perilous place for sailors, but they went through here because the alternative to get to mainland Italy was to go all the way around Sicily. These days, the most inconvenience to us as sailors is the squalls that come off these cliffs. So we've had one reef in, even though it's sort of around 13 knots, just to be on the safe side and just make it a bit more pleasant if it does get a bit squally. So far so good.
Okay, there you go, bud. It's the right Charybdis.
Hooray. Good news. This here is a swordfish fishing boat. So the guys at the top are searching for swordfish. Apparently at a certain place, certain time of day, the swordfish kind of sleep there at the top of the water. They spot them and then zip out along that 15-metre bowsprit at the front of the boat to harpoon the swordfish. So they do it around here.
That's the most northeastern point of Sicily. So we're outside of the Strait of Messina. Next stop is that way. It's the Aioli or Lipari Islands. And our first stop is Volcano.
Woohoo! Here we come.
If you like this video, please click like below and subscribe to follow our adventures.